Hi everyone, I'm back. This is Michelle Hale, East Bay Stamp Chick, and your Fun Stampers Journey Coach. And I wanted to show you a fun new technique that I have. It's called Faux Stained Glass Embellishments. So these are some really fun and beautiful embellishments that you can use on your cards or banners or any type of paper craft. And they give you a faux stained glass look. And what we do that with is our Journey Glaze. This is the perfect product for that, and I'm going to show you how to use it. But first, let me show you some of the things I've done. And I'll bring these a little closer to the camera. This right here, you can see, hopefully, that there's resin. There's like a glaze that's inside each of the die, and it gives you that stained glass look. You can see the shimmer, and I did use a little bit on the letters. But the flowers and the leaves are three-dimensional because you can see how thick they are. They're about 1/8 of an inch or so thick. Then we have the, this one makes a whole panel, and I've done other tutorials with how to use this and do different things with it. But this is our garden rose garden die, and you can see it really looks like there's glass in there, and so that's another great look. And then lastly, this one, you can see the glaze in that one, and again they're about, this one's maybe just a tiny bit thinner, but about almost 1/8 of an inch, so they do have a little bit of weight to them, okay, and they're a little bit thick. So let me show you how we're doing this and what we're using. So in this happy birthday card, I used the Blooming Details die set. Okay, and you can see it comes with lots of great pieces. There's the leaves, the flowers, there's backings for the leaves and the flowers, a stem. There's a total of nine dies in here, and that is DI-0327. Okay, so that's what I used for that card. Then for this heart, I used the Decorative Heart Die Set. Okay, and that is DI-0218, and that comes with the 3 hearts, and then the outer edge is actually separated, so you can easily cut out your heart and then cut out the inside as well. And then the Rose Garden Die Set, DI-0494, is the big panel. And that again, 2 dies, so you have your inside panel and then your outside edge is what comes in there. Okay, so that's what we used to make those cards. And I think they're really pretty, and that stained glass effect is just amazing. So let me show you how to do it, because it's actually really simple. So let's move these out of the way. I have one already prepared. So this is the backing to my heart, okay? And then I cut out actually 5 of these dies, okay? So there's actually 5. So one of them is going to be glued immediately to here. I have 3 that are already glued together, and you can kind of see how thick they are. And then one more on the top. So I'll show you how this works, and we're going to do this with, we're going to adhere it with our Journey craft glue. One of the things I like about using the craft glue is it gives me a little bit of a wiggle room, so I can move this around to make sure things match up really easily. You can use like a sheet of adhesive. We do sell those as well. And those are great, but kind of once you stick it down, then you're kind of stuck. It's really hard to get it to move. Now, you don't have to be perfect with your glue. You do just kind of want to get your major areas, and I like to just kind of move it around and smear it on there. You know, just needs a little bit. You don't need to put a lot. So some of these more intricate ones, like the Rose Garden one I didn't sit there and glue every single little area. That was just, it'd be crazy. So that's what's nice, is this doesn't require you to do all that. but you do want to get, especially the edges, you want to make sure that those are good because they're going to be holding in your glaze for you. So I just want to get a little bit more around that flower. And what I love about the Journey craft glue is when you squeeze it, it's really easy. Some craft glues hurt my hand a little bit trying to apply them because they're hard to squeeze, and this one's really soft. So we're going to take this and we're going to match this up on the edges, and just lets me slide that around till I get it right where I want it. Okay, and we're just going to press that down a little bit, and this dries pretty quick, so you don't need to like wait or anything. Now what's great is I used a piece of paper that I had used on my gel press, and it created that really fun background for this. But when I did the rose garden die, I actually used white, and then I used my color pencils, my watercolor pencils, and I colored in everything. Okay, so if you want to color, when you apply your first layer of the dye, this is when you're going to color. Because if you get out of the lines or if you get onto this area, it doesn't matter. It is not going to show because we're going to be covering it up. So feel free at this point, if you're someone who wants to color or paint, go ahead and do it on your first layer. Okay. So once you have your first layer down and you've colored or whatever you want to do, then you're going to do your next piece, which is the 3. So I already glued these, but it's basically just 3 of these glued together with our Journey craft glue, and it's really thick. Our paper is 80-pound paper, which is really nice because that gives you really firm, good quality paper, and especially for this, because we're putting all that glaze in there, you want something that's going to hold all of that and be strong. So it's really perfect for that. So again, we're just going to add some glue wherever we can, and you don't have to be perfect. And this glue dries clear, so you don't have to worry about it getting white blobs anywhere. Okay, so it makes it really easy. I'm putting just maybe a little bit more glue on this one because this is really going to be the piece that holds the Journey glaze in place. So I pretty much get glue all over my fingers most of the time when I do this, but it peels right off. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So now we're going to take this and line this up and press. Okay. So I'll bring this up a little closer so you can see. Now we have actual like pockets of where we're going to put our glaze. You can see how thick that is. Okay. So that's ready to go. We don't need to let it, dry for a long period of time. The glue dries pretty quick. Oops. Sorry about that camera jiggle. So this is the Fun Stampers Journey. It's the Journey Glaze. Okay. You can use it as an adhesive. You can use it as a resin on your jewelry and other craft products. You can use it to glue down your beads and your sequins. I had it on the lettering, so I just applied a thin coating on top of this lettering and let it dry real quick. So you can do so many things with it. It's really great. All you're going to do is you're going to start filling these areas, and let me see here. Just make sure I got this open. Yeah. Okay. Whoops. Well, there we go. So you're going to fill this in. Now, again, this white border that the die cut is not going to be seen because we have one more that we've cut, because we cut a total of 5. And that's going to go on the very top. So if you get a little messy with the glaze, don't worry about it. we will be putting another one on there that will give it a clean finish. And that last one just gets glued on like what I've been doing. So really easy. Now with the glaze, what you want to do is you're going to squeeze some in there and you're going to move it around with the tip because you want it to get into the nooks and crannies. So you got to kind of really look and make sure that you're moving it around and that you're putting enough into each little area. Now this looks cloudy, but it dries completely clear like what I've showed you on my cards. So don't worry about that. You just give it a little time. The one thing with this is these take time to dry because you're putting a lot of glaze in here. So it's really a minimum, I'm going to say, of 2 hours. This is not something you can do and then all of a sudden put it on your card because if you stick your finger in it, even if it's semi-dry, you'll get a fingerprint in there. You know, you might get like a dent, okay? And you don't want that. You want it to really be smooth. You can see like I'm just smoothing it around. And if I don't feel like it's gotten in an area, I'm just adding in more and trying to push it around with the tip. Now what this does do is as it sits there and dries, I like to check on it because sometimes it will soak in, and right now it looks like the little area is full, but it actually kind of soaked in and it's not really as full as it was. I like it to be really full so it looks really glassy. You don't have to do that. It looks great just as is, meaning like I added an extra coating. So what I did is about after an hour that it's been drying, I check it, and if it has kind of settled basically and it doesn't look as full as I want it to, then I will add more. But you don't have to because it will look glassy even without the second filling. I just like it to really look like glass, like really be full and shiny and just, you know, look very glass, I guess would be the way to say it. Just I want it to look as close to stained glass as possible. So you can see it kind of like as you're filling in these big areas, it does shift, and where you thought you had a corner filled in, it will pull away a little bit, and so you kind of have to go back in and get those little corners. So the Rose Garden die is super detailed, so that one took, you know, you really kind of went probably 2 layers in that because to catch all those little areas and really make sure they look full and good, probably really took the 2. But something like this, you can probably get away with just the 1 if you wanted to. So let me bring this up a little closer to the camera. I don't know if you can totally, yeah, you can kind of see the glassy, the shininess of it. So like this corner right there doesn't look completely filled in. It looks kind of like it might have wiggled away. So I'm just going to add a little bit more in a couple of these areas. Let's just see. And you can see it doesn't get a lot of bubbles or anything, but if you do, you can kind of pop them or move them around with the tip of the applicator. All right, so that's all filled in. Now again, it looks cloudy, it looks yellow, but it will not dry that way. So this would be something you just need to set aside, let it dry for a couple of hours. Then once it's dry, you would come in with this top layer, put the glue, put it right on top, and it would be completely done and ready to go. So that would be, it would give you the look that I have right here. You can see it's totally dry. I can touch it. Just see how thick this is. This is heavier, so if you're going to mail this, it will cost you a little extra postage. This is a giant bow, so you might need a little bit bigger envelope to put that in. And this one, the Rose Garden die, is the one that I did color in with color pencils. Okay, and then put the glaze over it. Then this one was another gel press background that I used. So it has that color gradation. See a little bit of the blue at the tip. Okay. And then this on the flowers is from a gel press background I did. And then the leaves is just green cardstock. It's our lemongrass cardstock behind there. So I didn't have to color anything. I just used the cardstock and then put the white dye over it with the glaze. Okay. Everything that I used on these cards today is from our new big catalog. We have so much fun stuff in there. It's just amazing. And there's tons of great dyes that are closed and you can easily use them for this type of a technique, and it gives you that stained glass effect. I can't wait to do this technique on some Christmas cards. I think that's just going to be beautiful. As always, thank you so much for spending time with me today. And thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you love getting crafting tutorials and learning about new products and want to know more about Fun Stamper's journey, just subscribe to me. Hit that subscribe button. You can also feel free to contact me at espace-stampchick@gmail.com or funstampersjourney.com/mhale for Michelle Hale. That's my shop. So if there's any products that you're interested in, you can see them there. And get a chance to look at them. But please, let me know if you have questions. I'd love to answer for you. This Journey glaze is so amazing. I can't say enough good things about it. Very inexpensive, and one bottle goes a long way. I've had this bottle for 9 months, and there's still tons in here. And look at everything that I've done already, not to mention any of the other projects. So it's an amazing product. Can't say enough good things about it. But thank you so much, and happy crafting to everybody.